We're gonna get started. Just as a quick reminder, if you are joining in, we will be muting your cameras and video just so that we can properly record this and get it online in case for those people that missed today's class. I'm gonna get started. So I'm gonna make my way to my chair and give you a little brief explanation on what we're gonna do today. So finding a comfortable seat in your chair, preferably a stationary chair that doesn't have wheels, just so that we can practice safely is great. I put a mat underneath my chair just for some extra knee support. It's not completely necessary, but if you have a mat or a blanket or a cloth, just so that when we do postures closer to the ground, we have support for our knees, completely optional, but it's an option for you. So getting started, just finding a comfortable seat in your chair. If your chair does have a backrest, you can kind of lean back on it. If not, just begin to find a sense of elongation along the spine from top to bottom. My legs are a little bit shorter, so I'm actually going to scooch myself forward to ensure that both feet are firmly planted onto the earth or the ground beneath you. And we're just going to start class just by grounding ourselves, setting a little bit of intention towards class, if that is what you'd like to do. So firmly rooting both feet into the ground, allow the palms to rest onto the thighs. Begin to notice the back body and the spine, and begin to imagine as if it's lengthening from top to bottom, almost as if the crown of the head was reaching up towards the sky, and the base of the spine was rooting down towards your chair. You can allow the arms and to soften here, shoulders to kind of fall away from the ears and relax. And if it feels comfortable, you can even allow your eyes to close here for a few moments. And with the eyes closed, just begin to imagine in your mind's eye just the four walls within the space that you're in or the room that you're in. And in your mind's eye, continuing to keep the eyes closed or softened, just begin to notice the space that your body occupies within the four walls. Can you begin to draw that awareness to where your body is in space, resting on your chair? And bringing that awareness a little bit more inward, can you begin to notice just the extremities of the body? So notice where your arms are in space. Notice the abdomen and the spine. Notice where the hips and thighs rest. Just simply moving through a quick little body scan from head to toe, just becoming more aware of where your body is in space. And as you begin to tune in a little bit more deeply, having assessed where your body is in space, you begin to draw that awareness in towards your breath. So notice the natural inhale and exhale through the nose. Notice how the belly rises and expands as you inhale. And notice how as you exhale, the breath softens and the abdomen softens, almost as if everything's returning back to that center line within the mid-body. Keeping the eyes still closed here, still aware of your breath. Maybe you begin to allow the breath to lengthen. So on your next inhale, inhaling perhaps to your maximum capacity, filling the lungs with fresh oxygen, feeling how the lungs and ribs expand to either side of the room. And then as you exhale, maybe elongating that exhale just a little bit more, almost as if you're emptying the lungs completely. Allow yourself to do that for a couple rounds, breathing in deeply through the nose, filling the lungs to their maximum capacity, and then exhaling all the air out. One more round here. Deep inhale through the nose. And an even deeper exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly opening up the eyes. Awesome. So now that we brought a little bit more awareness to our body and our breath, keeping that in mind throughout class could be a simple intention that you set for yourself towards class, or simply having dedicated time for yourself is also great. So we're going to slowly get started. So the layout of today's class, we'll start a little bit of warm up with some spine mobility, some breath work, working our way into the shoulders and the upper area of the body towards the upper spine. And then once we bring mobility through the upper limbs and the spine, we'll slowly make our way to the lower limbs. And then finally, we'll end class with a grounding, setting an intention again for the rest of our day, just like how we did at the beginning of class. And if you'd like, you're free to join for a quick little meditation before we end class. So that being said, we'll get started. So I'd like to bring a little bit more mobility into the top part of our body and our top extremities using the arms. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale with both arms on either side of the body. The palms can face forward or back, depending on how that feels for your shoulder area. So take a few moments just to explore what feels more comfortable for your body today. For me, I like to have the palms facing forward towards you, as if I'm going to give you a high five. You're going to take a nice deep inhale, inhale all the way up, arms come up, fingertips reach the sky. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring the arms back down. And as they come towards the earth, you're going to slightly reach them back behind you. So you're getting that stretch across the front shoulder area and the front heart space. And then on your next inhale, inhale all the way up again. And then exhale all the way back, arms reaching back, feeling the stretch across the shoulders and the front of the chest. We're going to do it 2 more times. Inhale all the way up, arms reach up, fingertips reach the sky. Exhale, arms come down and slowly come back, facing back behind you or the wall behind you. Awesome. You'll bring both arms to either side, give them a little shake if needed. Then we'll continue to move on with opening up the shoulders. So you're going to bring the arms, inhale all the way up. As you exhale, you're going to bring the palms together to touch and then slowly bend through the elbows. Bring the hands to heart center as if they're in prayer pose. From here, take a nice deep inhale, thumb pressing against the chest. And then as you exhale, ever so gently, just begin to twist over to your right side. Maybe your gaze looks over to the right. And as you're twisting here very gently, become aware of where that movement and the twist comes. So articulating the spine and the vertebrae, slowly moving one at a time. Deep inhale, abdomen drawn in. And then as you exhale, maybe you slowly and gently move a little bit more to the right. Hold there for a full cycle of breath, full inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to come through center. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to bring the arms to either side. Deep inhale, lift both arms up. As you exhale, the hands come into prayer towards heart center. Deep inhale to prepare, abdomen drawn in. And then as you exhale, twisting over to your left or the other side. Finding your gaze looking towards the left side of the room or the other side of the room. Draw the belly in on your next inhale. With both feet rooted as you exhale, abdomen drawn in, maybe you find just a little bit more of a gentle twist. Hold here for a full cycle of breath. Deep inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, slowly come back through center. We'll bring the arms back down, take a deep inhale, lift both arms up towards the sky. As you exhale, you're gonna bend the elbows to either side of the room, like cactus arms. This time, palms face forward, like you're really giving someone a high five. And then from here, you're gonna inhale, reach the elbows to either side of the room. Feel the expansion across the front of the chest and the heart center. And then as you exhale, you're gonna bring the arms together, forearms, elbows, and palms touch. We're gonna do that a few times. So inhale to open up. Exhale to close. Breathing in and out through the nose 2 more times. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. 1 more time. Inhale to open. Hold here. Maybe you find a slight gaze looking up towards the sky, feeling the chest extend up towards the front of the neck and the back body. Hold here. Full inhale. As you exhale, chin lowers slightly back to neutral, and then arms come into the center to touch. We're going to do that 1 more time, including that head movement. So inhale, opening up through cactus arms, finding a slight gaze up towards the sky, holding here for a full cycle of breath. And then as you exhale, forearms, elbows, and palms come to touch. And then slowly bring the palms back down. Awesome. So we brought a little bit of mobility to the spine and the shoulders. We're going to continue to do that, but we're going to incorporate the lower limbs. So we're going to take a nice big stance with both feet so that your legs are nice, wide, and open. This could also be known as Lotus Pose when you're practicing yoga on your mat, but we can still access Lotus Pose in our chair, supporting our lower limbs with the chair as a prop. So opening up the legs nice and wide, allowing the knees to kind of face outwards. The heels will face inward, toes face outward. From here, you're going to take both palms to have them rest onto the thighs. And you can kind of lengthen the arms so that the arms become activated here. Draw the belly in, spine nice and long. Take a full inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to slowly twist over to your right, almost as if that left shoulder is trying to aim towards the right knee. So you're just bringing a gentle twist into the upper body and the shoulder area. So hold here, full inhale, full exhale. Another deep cycle of breath. Inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, come through center and then doing the left side. So right shoulder aiming towards that left knee, finding that gentle twist. Hold here for a full cycle of breath, still moving slowly. And then as you exhale, come back through center. We'll do 3 more rounds, same process, but maybe just a little bit more momentum. So deep inhale, exhale, come over to your right. Deep inhale here through the nose. As you exhale, come through center. Inhale deeply, draw the abdomen in. And then as you exhale, come over to your left side. Awesome, we're gonna do 1 more round. Inhale through center. Full cycle of breath here. On your next breath, slowly moving over to the right. Hold here, full cycle of breath. On your next exhale, coming back through center. And then slowly at your own personal pace, slowly moving over to the left. Holding there for a full cycle of breath. And then when you're ready, coming back through center. Awesome. We're going to bring the feet closer together, about hip distance. If you're not sure what hip distance is, you can kind of create a fist with both hands and kind of place them in between both feet. That's roughly about hip distance for most people, but if it feels better to bring them wider, you can do that as well. So from here, we're going to begin to incorporate forward folds just so we find a little bit more depth into our spine. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale with both arms, fingertips spread nice and wide, reaching up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, hinge from the hips. Allow the torso to rest onto the thighs, and then the hands come down towards the earth. If the hands and the fingertips can't come towards the earth, that's okay. You can find balance by bringing them onto the shins. but abdomen drawn in here. Find the hand position that works best for you. And then just bring awareness to the back of the neck. So notice if the back of the neck is compressed, can you allow the head to descend towards the feet so that you allow the back of the neck to be nice and long. Take a full cycle of breath here. Deep inhale, exhale through the nose. On your next inhale, we're going to lift halfway up. So we're going to bring the hands to the shins, crown of the head reaches forward, belly drawn in. Full inhale here. As you exhale, come down into your seated forward fold, head hangs heavy. And then on your next inhale, inhale all the way up to standing. Arms come up. Exhale, hands to either side. Awesome. We're going to do that 3 more times. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, find the hand position that works best for you as you descend to the earth. Head hangs heavy. Inhale, halfway up, hands to the shins, crown of the head reaching forward. Exhale, arms come down, back into your seated forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, arms come up, fingertips reach the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward, arms reach the earth, head hangs heavy. Inhale, belly rises halfway up, hands to the shins, crown of the head reaching forward, back of the neck nice and long. As you exhale, hinge forward, maybe the fingertips reach the earth, abdomen resting on the thighs. Head hangs heavy here, preparing for your next inhale. As you inhale, rising up towards the sun. Exhale, arms come down. Awesome. So now that we brought a little bit of mobility to the spine by twisting and forward folding, we're going to bring a little bit more depth into the lower spine. So we're going to bring our legs out nice and long. I'm going to turn sideways just for better visibility purposes. But bringing your legs out nice and long, you can point or flex the feet. That can change the dynamic or the sensation of what you feel in the back of the calves and the hamstrings. So sometimes if you feel that the hamstrings are sending very strong sensations, you're more than welcome to slightly bend the knees. So I'll give you a few moments to kind of play around with that so you find a little bit of comfort and ease in this posture. And then from here, same thing, we're going to inhale, lift both arms up to the sky. As you exhale, you're going to hinge forward and aim as if the fingertips are going to reach towards the toes. And they may not touch the toes today, that's completely normal, but you can slowly guide the hands, perhaps by bringing them up towards the knees or the thighs. And we'll be here for a couple breaths. So maybe with every exhale, you challenge yourself to allow the hands to walk closer towards the feet. Just be aware that the lower you get towards the earth or your foundations of your feet, the sensation will intensify along the back body of the limbs. So just hold here, find the position that works well for you, that allows you to hold the posture and still breathe. Maybe challenge yourself and even smile a little. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. One more breath here. Deep inhale. And an even deeper exhale. Awesome. On your next inhale, you're going to inhale, lift both arms up towards the sky. Bring both feet firmly planted onto the ground, knees bent, and then exhale, arms down to either side. Awesome. Continue to bring movement into the lower limbs. We're going to bring one leg nice and long. So I always like to practice on my right side first and then my left. Sometimes it gets confusing, so it's more than fine if you do one over the other. Just make sure you do both limbs at some point throughout class. So I'm going to bring my left leg nice and long out and extended. Again, find what works best for you. You can point or flex the feet. Just know that that can change the sensation on the back of the limbs. So keeping one leg nice and long, heel rooted into the earth. You're going to inhale, lift both arms parallel, so arms facing the floor beneath you. Full inhale here, abdomen drawn in, and here comes the challenging part. You're going to slowly begin to lift that right foot up. So as far up as you can lift that right foot, that'll be your challenge for today. If you want more of a challenge, you can bring the hands to interlace just below that right kneecap and slowly draw that right knee in. So you might feel this in the right corner of the hip. So that's the kind of the area that we're targeting. We spend a lot of time seated or in positions that don't require a lot of movement. So bringing that sensation and openness to the hips is a great opportunity. So just kind of have the right foot flexed on the knee that's bent, lifting up. And then if you want more of an extra challenge, maybe with every exhale, you draw that knee closer towards the chest. Another full cycle of breath here, deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly bring the right leg down to meet the left. So this time, right leg nice and long, pointer flex that right foot, see what feels best for you. I like to actually flex my feet because I like to feel the stretch on the back of my calves. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms parallel to the earth, fingertips reach forward, palms face down. And then when you're ready, left knee will bend and slowly lift up. So this can be more of a challenge in and of itself. I find sometimes just doing this brings a nice integration into the spine and the abdomen. It's a static posture, but you're still working a lot of little muscle groups here. If you want more of a deeper stretch, again, slowly bring the fingertips to interlace below the left knee. Hold here, and then maybe with every exhale, you draw that thigh closer to the chest. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. One more breath here. Maybe draw your thigh just a bit closer. And then as you exhale, slowly bring the left leg down to meet the right. One more deep forward fold before we get into the lower limb. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale, lift both arms up. As you exhale, hinge forward, legs nice and long, and then let the palms fall down towards the limbs where they feel comfortable. So again, on the calves, ankles, or slowly towards the feet. Notice the back of the neck here again, and just allow space for the back of the neck. So lowering the head slightly, bringing more of an integration to the spine. Take a couple of deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. One more cycle of breath. And on your next personal inhale, you're going to inhale, lift both arms up to the sky, both feet root down, knees bend, exhale, arms down. Awesome. So that was a little bit of a warm up. You can give yourself a little shake just to shake everything off. And then we're going to slowly get into the lower limbs. So similar to when we're practicing yoga in a standing series on our mat, there are certain postures that we do known as Warrior 1 or Warrior 2 that involve a lot of work in the lower limbs and the quad and hamstring area. We can still access those postures seated. So I'm just going to show you how we're going to do that. So the posture that we're going to be working on is Warrior 2. So we're going to bring our hips back slightly towards the chair, opening up our legs how we did earlier when we were stretching out our upper limbs. So you're going to bring the right leg out, so nice and long, and that right foot can stay firmly planted, rooted onto the floor beneath you. Take this moment, an opportunity to see what works best so that you feel that your leg is supported and firmly grounded. I find that allowing my toes to face forward helps for me. And then slowly from here, depending on the mobility of your hips, you can allow your torso to slowly look over towards the left. So similar to how we were twisting earlier, this time we're incorporating more of our full body and looking over to the left. And then with this final leg, we're just going to open it up a little bit more and allow it to rest on the chair. So the left leg is in a 90-degree angle. This right leg is nice and extended out behind us, ideally with the foot planted in its entirety, especially the outer edge of the foot, and perhaps the toes are facing forward, or maybe they're on a slight 45-degree angle, depending on what works best for you. From here, in your warrior two pose, supported by the chair, you can keep the hands down on the base of the chair and hold here. Or if you like even more of a challenge, you can inhale, bringing both arms up to the sky. As you exhale, you can bring the hands to heart center, thumb pressing against the chest. Abdomen drawn in here. Root down through both feet. Because even though we're supported by the chair here, we still want to bring integration into the lower limbs and kind of activate those muscles because we're still using them. Take another full cycle of breath here. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. When you're ready, safely and slowly, we're going to bring ourselves back to the center of the chair so you can use the base of the chair again for support to slowly bring your left foot forward and your right foot coming back into your seated position. Awesome. So we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to do my left side now, or sorry, my right side. So extending left side, extending my left leg out nice and long. Toes pointed forward on a slight angle. It just depends on the fit and form of our body and our hips. And then when you're ready, that right leg is going to come out to a 90-degree angle and kind of completely rest on the chair here. From here, you can become aware of the hips. So they're kind of on a slight angle and a 45. You don't need to be fully facing forward. They can kind of be on an angle. That's completely okay. And when I refer to the hips, I'm referring to the corner edges of your hips. So if you kind of want to feel that alignment and how your body is in space, you can kind of bring the hands to the hips here and kind of see if it feels good to adjust them to aim more forward, or if it feels better to kind of have them point on a 45. Over time, the hips can open up more and you'll find that having the pelvic bones or the corner edges of the hips aim forward might be ideal, but for today, just find what works best for you. Again, use the hands on the base of the chair for support, or if not, you can inhale, lift both arms up, and then exhale, bring the hands heart to center. Draw the belly in, bring the awareness towards the spine and feel the spine still lengthening from top to bottom. Draw the awareness towards the lower limbs. Ensure that your foundations or your feet are firmly rooted. By rooting the outer edge of the back leg that's extended, you'll really feel the activation so that you're still supported by the legs. Another full cycle of breath here. And then as you exhale, when you're ready, you can slowly and safely make your way back to center, back into your seated position. Awesome. So that was kind of like a modified warrior two pose in a seated position. We're going to slowly integrate that standing up, but still using the chair for support. We're going to slowly make our way up to standing. Similar to how we were doing our forward folds to bring movement into the spine at the beginning, we'll do the exact same thing, but this time we're going to be coming into a much deeper posture as we begin to fold forward at a much more depth with the hips. So we're going to bring a nice stance to both feet. You can bring them about hip distance apart or about the width of the chair, if that helps as a little visual. And then from here, inhale, lift both arms up. Excuse me. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. The hips will reach back, belly button drawn in, and then the hands can rest on the base of the chair. So your spine here is kind of in a little bit of a 45-degree angle. If you want more depth here, you can begin to use the legs of the chair as support and kind of walk the hands down along the legs of the chair so that you're beginning to come into that deep forward fold. The head may rest onto the chair if you find that feels comfortable for you. Or if not, you can fully, completely remove the hands off the base of the legs on the chair and kind of find your full forward fold. Hold here for a full cycle of breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, you're going to inhale, lift the spine halfway up. So whether that looks like bringing the hands to the shins for you, you can do that, or bringing the hands back to the chair, you can do that as well. Hold here for a full cycle of breath. Deep inhale. As you exhale, you're going to fold forward again, however that looks like for you, holding on to the chair or not. And then on your next inhale, you're going to inhale all the way up to standing. Arms come up. My hair got stuck. Exhale, hands to either side. Awesome. So we're going to bring more movement into the lower limbs, similar to how we were doing our warrior pose seated down. We're going to do the exact same thing with our chair. I'm going to flip my chair around for better visibility purposes, but you might be able to still keep it in the same position. The purpose of me moving it is just so that I can show you how I'm going to use the backrest of a chair. So from here, we're going to take a nice big stance back with the right leg, using the chair for support here and balance. Find a nice wide stance. And then from here, again, same principles apply. You're rooting down the back edge of the foot. The outer edge is nice and rooted, leg nice and long out in front of you. Bring awareness to the corner edges of the hips so you can allow them to aim forward if that feels comfortable, or slightly on the 45 is still okay. Just know that over time, that right corner of the hip is slowly aiming towards forward or the wall in front of you, or the chair in front of you. So from here, you're going to hold on to the chair for support. If you'd like, you can begin to bend that left knee. So again, finding depth in the front of the left thigh. And the chair is really nice here for support. And then if you'd like, you can bring the arms out parallel in front of, parallel to the earth. Or if you want more of a challenge, you can inhale, bring the arms up. So we're in a warrior two pose. There's a lot of work happening in the lower limbs and the thighs. That front thigh may be shaking or burning. We'll be here for one more breath. Deep inhale. And then as you exhale, exiting slowly using the back of the chair, kind of slowly bringing the feet back into a neutral standing position. Awesome, we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So take a big step back with the left leg. Again, foot rooted, finding the position that works best for you. And then finding depth right away into the front of the left thigh. So kind of becoming more familiar with the posture since we already did it on the right side. So finding what works best for you, acknowledging that the right side may feel different than the left. And when you found that nice balance with the foundation of your feet, you find a nice depth in that right thigh that's challenging for you. You can inhale, bring the arms parallel to the floor. Let the arms rest on the back of the chair if you'd like. Or for more of a challenge, bring the arms up, palms touch. Inhale here, exhale through the nose. That thigh might be sending you a little hello sign. We'll be here for one more breath. And then when you're ready, as you exhale, slowly and safely coming back to your neutral standing position. Awesome. We're going to do a couple more postures, slowly bringing our weight closer to the earth, and then we'll make our way into ending class. I'm going to bring my chair back into its neutral little position just for visibility purposes. You're more than welcome to move it if you'd like, or you might still be able to stay in the same posture or position. So from here, we're going to inhale, lift both arms up. We're going to come into that forward fold again. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Palms can rest on the base of the chair or on the bottoms of the legs here. Inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, fold. So this is the fun part. From here, find a nice balance with the hands to support the weight of the lower limbs. And then from here, you're going to take a very slight step forward with the left foot, right foot back. And this time, you're going to bring that right knee down to the earth. So you're coming into a low lunge. So this is the part where it might be comfortable if you had a yoga mat or just a little blanket or pillow to support the knee if you have any sensations there. You won't be here for long, but just hold here, full inhale, full exhale. One more breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to use the hands for support, but almost as if you're trying to push the chair away from you. You begin to push the glutes and the hips back towards that right heel and hold here. If you want more of an extra challenge, you can lengthen that left leg. That might be a little bit too much. So for me today, I'm keeping my knee bent and just kind of scooching my glutes towards the right heel behind me. So you'll feel this in the front of the right thigh or quadricep. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, slowly come back to center. And we'll switch sides. So this time, left knee will come down, right foot will come planted onto the earth. And then into that low lunge again, holding here for a couple breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose. One more breath. And then as you exhale, slowly begin to push that left glute back towards the left heel. Again, you can lengthen the right leg if that feels good for you, or keep it bent and just push the hips back. Holding here for a couple cycles of breath. Deep inhale, exhale through the nose. One more breath. And then as you exhale, slowly coming back through center. Awesome. Just one more posture on our knees here. We'll bring both knees to the earth. And this may feel slightly uncomfortable, but we're gonna curl the toes here. So this will bring a nice little stretch into the calves and the ankles. And just play around with it. The sensations may be slightly strong. So if at any point they feel too strong, you can always place the tops of your feet flat on the mat. From here with the toes curled, if that works for you, I'm going to just slowly push the hips back towards the heels, allowing the glutes to rest on top of the heels. And you'll really feel the stretch along the ankles and the front of the feet. You're more than welcome to keep the hands on the base of the chair for balance. And just hold here for a couple breaths. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, slowly allow your gaze to reach toward the legs of the chair, and then slowly come back. You're going to come back into a child's pose position. So you're going to bring the knees nice and wide, pushing the hips even further towards the heels. And then you can keep the arms here onto the base of the chair if that works for you. Or if you want more depth, you can bring the hands down to the earth. And over time, just slowly finding more depth, allowing the torso to rest in between the thighs. So lots of options for the hands, just depending on the range of motion and depth that works for you. But you might feel a lot of sensation in the corner of the hips here. So just find what works best for your range of motion today. Always knowing that you know your body best. Maybe tuning into your breath here for one last cycle of breath. Full inhale. Full exhale. Slowly coming back out safely, palms on the base of the chair. Coming back up, lifting one foot and then the other. And then slowly making your way back into your seated position. Awesome. We're gonna shake that all out with one more forward fold, this time in our seated position. So feet nice and comfortable, rooted into the earth. Inhale, shine the heart forward as the arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward, torso rests onto the thighs, head hangs heavy. Inhale, lifting the belly halfway up, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing arms, come up. Exhale, hands to either side. Awesome. So we kind of did a little bit of mobility throughout the whole body, starting with the upper chest, spine, lower limbs. We'll finish off with a couple more shoulder exercises, and then just our grounding exercise before we go off into the rest of our day. So finding a comfortable seat, you're going to inhale, lift both arms up. As you exhale, bringing the arms back into cactus arms, elbows reach to either side of the room. And then from here, this can get a little confusing while we're trying to watch and listen, but your left hand is going to come over to your right shoulder, and your right hand is going to come over to your left shoulder. So you're creating an X with the forearms and the arms. So holding onto the shoulders here, you're going to take a nice deep inhale, lengthen through the spine, allow the gaze to look slightly up. And then as you exhale, almost as if you're curling the spine like a tiny little ball, belly button drawn in, you're going to begin to curl down, almost as if forehead and knee were to touch. The elbows may rest onto the thighs, that's okay. Hold here for a cycle of breath. On your next inhale, you're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine, gaze slightly looks up. Exhale here. Inhale, open up the arms back through cactus arms. And then the next posture here will be eagle arms, although you can continue to keep the the palms rested on the shoulders for modified eagle. If you like to try going into full eagle arms, we're going to bring the left hand to wrap underneath the right shoulder. And then if it's available, you can bind through the forearms, palms touch. Again, this will be very intense for the shoulders, so you're more than welcome to keep the arms crossed like how we did earlier. But if you're coming into eagle arms, you're going to inhale, slightly lift the shoulders and elbows up. And then as you exhale again, curling into that tiny little ball, almost as if forehead and knee were to touch. Hold here. Full cycle of breath. On your next inhale, you're going to inhale, lifting all the way up, unraveling, opening up the arms back into cactus, full inhale. And then as you exhale, doing the other side, modified or not. This time, right arm underneath the left. Again, hands can rest on the shoulders as a modified version, or for full eagle arms, wrapping through the forearms, palms touch. Lifting the palms slightly, full inhale. As you exhale, curling into a tiny little ball, chin tucked into the chest. Holding here. Full cycle of breath. On your next inhale, inhale all the way up. Arms open up to cactus. Full inhale. Arms come back to the back of the head. Hands. Almost as if you're resting on a beach. Elbows reach to either side. Allow the gaze to look up. Maybe even closing the eyes and imagining a nice sunny day, almost as if the sun was shining on your forehead. Full deep inhale here, and an exhale to sigh it out. You're in the comfort of your own home, so sigh as loud as you'd like. We're going to do 2 more of those. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. 1 more. Deep inhale. Exhale, let it all go. When you're ready, slowly bring the chin back to neutral. Arms come down to rest on the thighs. And we'll just slowly unclasp the quick little body check for meditation. And allow the eyes to soften here, maybe even close. Again, going back to how we started class with the eyes closed, just become aware in your mind's eye of the four walls within the room that you're in. Become aware of the space that your body occupies within those four walls. And drawing that awareness a little bit more inward, just begin to notice your breath. So just notice the natural inhale and exhale through the nose. Notice every time your mind wanders, can you bring it back to your breath? Acknowledging that our breath is our unconscious tool throughout life that carries us throughout our day. That choosing it as an active tool to stay focused and aware is something that you have complete control of on your chair, on your mat, or off of it into the rest of your day. We'll take 2 more breaths here together. Deep inhale and an even deeper exhale. 1 more breath. When you're ready, slowly opening up the eyes. We'll bring our right hand to our left shoulder, left hand to our right shoulder, and give yourself a well-deserved hug. You could have been anywhere else and you chose to be here. So thank you. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and please, please stay hydrated.